Welcome to AMA with DMK, hosted by Acne Montague King and co-hosted by Sara Bleiweiss.
Hello everybody, I'm Acne Montague King, and I welcome all of my brilliant and wonderful viewers back to another thrilling episode of AMA, Ask Me Anything. Today, we have a very special guest, Sara Bleiweiss. She has been with us longer than anybody. I knew you before you were married, before you had kids, before everything. So she's the top of the list, and she is head of education around the whole area. And we're going to be talking about our brand new Acne Masterclass and our first ever dual audience and esthetician-oriented campaign. You know, people working together as it should be. Sara, let's start by giving our viewers an overview of our 2024 acne campaign. What makes this year's effort unique? How did you envision a client-facing acne revision program like our Acne Intensive program that will support our ongoing DMK Acne Masterclass education course for certified professionals? Underline, certified professionals, and I'll explain why I said that later. Okay.
So this was actually a lot of fun to put together. We decided as a whole, the team and today, Dr. Laconde, we wanted to really go after the acne market space. We've always been a huge success in acne and treating acne and really revising it long term. We just were kind of missing some simplicity to it for our accounts, our clinics. And we wanted to just kind of clean things up, get a fresh new look, and we created a master class specifically for acne. And then we tied in some boot camps or programs, series of treatments for our clients to use, and then also to target the consumer. So it's kind of a dual edge, education, which we're known for, and then really hitting the market space to the consumer. So consumers will see the DMK Acne Bootcamp programs available to them. It's going to be, flashy, catchy, and really targeted to specific acne conditions. And hoping to engage and get those clients and consumers signed up with our accounts.
So they're actually the clients or patients, if it's a doctor doing this, is buying a 6 to 8 week program.
Correct. Yep.
Now let me tell you why this is so successful. We have done this before years and years ago overseas. Not particularly, it was just acne, but it was very common for our European therapists and doctors to offer. In those days, it was a 10-week program. Number one, it gave the therapist and the client a chance to see some sort of result starting right away because they're committed. They paid for it. They have to come for the subsequent treatments. So it gives a good chance for all of these problems to be resolved within that time period. And it always works. Now, why are we doing this now, just now? You might be thinking out there. Well, I've been kind of wanting to reprieve this type of format for a long, long time. I have this on my plate. I had Black Skin Matters on my plate, which we're still working on. And I think the time is now because of what we're undergoing worldwide. What do we have? A lot of stress, subliminal stress, adolescent to adulthood stress, menopausal, all kinds of stress plus. And acne at its most simplistic level is hormonal more than anything else. The rest of the industry seems to approach acne always from a bacterial type of thing. Well, yes, there is that aspect too, but there is much more to acne than most people realize. And we are just now getting deep, deep, deep into the other aspects of it, thanks to our brilliant Dr. Laconde. And therefore, all of this information will go into this masterclass and then into this coexisting client situation. Sara, as DMK's lead educator for the last month's webinar exclusive Acne Masterclass, which I heard was great.
Thank you.
Could you explain the essence of our expanded DMK Acne Masterclass education program?
Yeah, absolutely. I think too, I want to touch on something is, the DMK concept has never failed. It's something that we've always been known for. And for me, because I worked with DMK for so long, it's embedded in my brain. And as we grow as a company, we have a lot of new accounts coming on board who maybe don't quite understand the value and really understand how the concept works. So as a company, it was our job to simplify things and really drive that home to them. And, DMK is not sold online. You can't purchase on products anywhere.
I can't believe these companies that say they're professional and all their marketing and that, and yet you can buy it online.
Yeah.
It's physically not possible. It's like you're going to have a facelift and you go to the surgeon and he looks at you and says, okay, well now you're going to buy my scalpel and all this other stuff and suturing online and go home and do it yourself. It's the same.
Yeah.
Basically, it sounds ridiculous, but it's the same principle.
I know. And I see so many estheticians literally cutting themselves out of the equation because they just sell products to the consumer online, maybe a virtual consultation. They've never even gotten their hands on their face. They don't have a proper consultation, a proper intake form, and they're just selling product. They're really doing a disservice to themselves. They're cutting themselves out of the equation of actually performing that treatment, which in my mind is a lost art in our industry, is that one-on-one journey, working with your clients, really deep diving what is going on with their lifestyle, their health, what sorts of trauma has happened with their skin, what sort of ablative treatments that they've had in the past. And when you really have those types of conversations, you really get to know a lot of what is going on and why that acne is presenting, rather than just trying to put a spot treatment on it and clear it up.
Now, I'm going to ask you something that I'm asked all the time. What can our estheticians and physicians expect to learn from this masterclass? And how is it different from other training programs? Now, think carefully before you answer that. How is it different from your point of view?
From my point of view, I think it's different because we're really showcasing the therapist. We are supporting the professional industry. In this masterclass, it was a lot of fun. It's maybe a refresh for some people. We deep dive into acne conditions, causes of acne. We also, we have a few different before and after photos. We talk about the microbiome and the importance of the microbiome. Truly, if there is an issue with the microbiome, if it is out of balance or dysbiosis, homeostasis, acne will present. If you have a healthy microbiome intact, acne will simply not present itself. So that's kind of where we're standing on that. And then also comedogenic ingredients, which is a huge thing. This is actually what started this whole thing.
Dr. Laconde and my attack on the word comedogenic ingredients. Oh my God. That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
But
we did it. You guys did it on the last one. It was fascinating.
But it's fake news, basically fake news.
Yep. So we're moving beyond.
Yeah, we're moving beyond that. One thing I really wanted to talk about here is recently it's been brought to my attention that we have a competitor. Oh my God, I'm going to, take nitroglycerin and kill myself. Everybody's all worried about it.
Yeah.
Well, this happens every few years. Don't forget, folks, this old guy here, 81, like President Biden, who I just met, by the way, 3 weeks ago, and he was nothing like that debate in person. He was wonderful. But anyway, I've survived all this kind of so-called competitors. As a matter of fact, this particular one, I'm not supposed to, it says here in the script, don't name the company. I won't. But it's the same company that we fought before. I just noticed I went to the movies last night for the first time since COVID. I went to see Deadpool and Wolverine. It was actually pretty
Was it
fun.
good?
Well, it was IMAX 3D. Yeah, it was fun. And I noticed the kiosk of its other acne company was gone. So apparently what happens, they ran out of gas and they rebranded. And now they're competitors. No. As they say in Beijing, wo bo yao xie xie. That is not true. Again, they're talking about bacteria, peroxide, all those kinds of things. Okay, that's only one small part of it.
Correct.
Okay.
Hey, I've been with DMK for what? I don't even know now, 17 plus years or something like that. I've seen all of this come and go as well. And I kind of have sat back and just like, what are you guys talking about? We really have always been treating acne if even better than anything else. That's why I started working with DMK. It just truly works. And as long as you stick to that concept, and concepts are everything, really, if you think about it at the end of the day. And, we have to support the professional industry, and it's about those treatments. It's about commitment and consistency. That's really simply what it is. And, listening to someone that's gone through education and training and really understands skin, the body, how it works, why is acne presenting, and then you get the treatments, and products are just maybe 40-50% of the result when doing corrective skincare. Once the skin's been revised, it's all about, yeah, exactly. So this is something we've been doing for a long, long time. We just wanted to listen to the consumers, our clients, who we love and care about. And we do. We have to change things up. We have to stay fresh and new and give our clients what they're asking for.
Well, okay. The press has always talked about my founding DMK was based on my own bout with acne vulgaris when I was a kid back in 1950. That sounds so weird.
It's like the Price is Right in the wheel.
I feel like a vampire half the time. Even I get nervous now. It doesn't feel right to look like I do at 81, and I feel almost guilty. But I worked damn hard at it for a long, long time, kids. So anyway, yes, it's true. I was brought up in a well-to-do family. They were very intelligentsia types. I went to private schools. I knew I was different than most people in many, many ways. I was under a lot of stress, and I looked like, now I'm going to get all kinds of comments on this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I was called pizza face by the kids at school, okay? I wrote an article once for a magazine overseas called Pizza Belongs in the Mouth, Not on the Face.
Well,
it's an acne article. Should write that again.
Catch you.
Anyway, so yeah, I was miserable.
Yep.
And they took me to all the high-end dermatologists in the city at that time. They gave me tetracycline, which is just a terrible antibiotic, turns your teeth gray or yellow. They gave me all kinds of unguents and salves, and none of it did anything. I wore a product, and I can mention this because it's still for sale. It was called Clarisil. I wore it every single day of school like makeup, and it would dry. And I was afraid to smile or make any kind of expression in my face. The kids would tease me again. Oh, here's the death mask kid. He's not, get him to smile, get him to laugh, because it would crack. Yeah. And it was pretty horrible. I was absolutely in despair, so I decided to do it my own. Yeah. And take my little Gilbert chemistry sets and pound up my little herbs and various things that I was thinking about and reading about. And I suspected deep, deep in my heart at that time that there was more to this than just bacteria, P. acnes bacteria. Yeah. I knew that it was a holistic approach, which we still are. Holistic meaning whole. Yeah. I started eating differently. My mother, thank God, was always a food purist. Always. She was into health foods, even back then.
She'll love that.
And I worked out a lot. I swam in the sea. I calmed myself down, and I did my little treatments. And I got rid of it and changed my whole life.
Yeah. Acne is the most rewarding thing to treat. It really is. You can change someone's life.
Because you feel ugly. Yeah. You feel greasy. You feel dirty. You feel just horrible.
Yeah, you don't want to smile. You don't want to look people in the face. Like, that's horrible to feel that way.
Thank you for mentioning that. I wished I brought it with me today. I have found old black and white pictures of me and family photos. And every one of them, my head is down.
Yeah. I mean, some acne patients are even suicidal.
Yeah.
It's the #1 requested appointment in the dermatologist.
We did that huge acne summit years ago at the Royal Academy of Medicine.
I remember.
London.
Yeah, that boy.
And the girl, she was going to bump her. Well, there was a guy that threw himself off a cliff, the producer's son. Oh. And he was on Accutane. Oh, which exacerbates.
She's depressed, yeah.
And there was a young girl. She was a part African, part Caucasian, beautiful girl. She had gunshot melia over her whole face. Gunshot melia. That looks like little capsule, little seeds under the face. Yep. And actually, her mother took her to the DMK clinic on Harley Street in London, and she confessed in front of everybody. Her mother's in the front row, audience is packed. She confessed that before that appointment, she had saved up all these sleeping pills and everything. She just didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
She was going to,
Yeah.
that's it. So these are moving stories even back then.
Yeah.
So
Teenagers have enough going on with hormones and all of that. When you have, don't like the way you look, it's even, worse. So honestly, this is what we've been doing for years and years and years. We're just putting a fresh new spin on it, new, colors, and got a couple new fun items. The actual powder brush, which we love. I mean, people are just obsessed with actual powder.
I saw that the other day. I thought, what the hell is this?
Yeah, isn't it cute?
I know, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, Danae, I wanted to just ask you quickly, how do you feel these acne boot camps are going to help our clients, our clinics using DMK? Is it going to help to strengthen our overall mission as a company and helping to build that world of confidence?
Well, yes, like I've said before, it's a focus on a specific anomaly, okay, number one. Number two, each participant will be certified. They will have their certificate to put up on the wall. And I'm constantly surprised how much certification means to the general public.
Yeah.
I mean,
they do.
It's like awards. Yeah. We do our World of Confidence Awards every year, and these are like plexiglass awards, and yet people burst into tears and all this because they're recognized. This is the same kind of human emotion. They see the certification, they know you're serious, and so they will listen to you more than they just ambled in and said, "Oh, do you work with acne?"
Yeah.
So
I love it when I walk in a treatment room and I see a wall filled with all the certificates. It's showing and telling me that they spend a lot of time and they value education. And again, that's what we're all about. So we're going to have more certificates available for you all. You will get this with the
There's a quick little anecdote. DeAndre Michael, dear friend of mine, he's one of the top makeup artists in films. He does Angela Bassett and everybody, particularly black stars. And he attended all our classes all the way up to paramedical.
Yeah.
And he works in the studios. He actually has people having treatments in between scenes in that if there's time in the makeup trailer. And he called me the other day. He says, I was just looking at my certificate on the wall. You forgot the gold seal. I don't make the certificates myself.
Oh, you don't? You're not signing away in the office?
No, that's a stamp. My hand would be swollen out. I had to do that in China once at a big beauty exhibition. I was writing articles for their magazine in China, and they wanted me to sign magazines. And I said, oh, okay, I'll be happy to sign with you. The queue was like a mile long.
They have like 2,000. Yeah.
And I always have to make a little note. Knowledge is power. That's my, because it is.
Yep.
I always put that in their name. And my hand was swollen. It's huge. So I said, well, bring it on in and we'll slap the gold stamp. But the little thing like that showed how much it meant to him to have that certification on his wall.
Yep. We're just helping you all become experts in possibly acne, if that's something that you want to treat in your clinic. I think these programs will be very successful if they're followed and if, the client is committed and on board. Again, though, you guys, this is something that we've really been doing for years and years. And it's all about that enzyme therapy. The enzyme therapy is what really creates that homeostasis and balance and creating that vibrancy and that fresh, healthy skin. We've also alternated with shorter treatments. So they're called transepidermal nutrition treatments. And that's just simply to cut the time down and the cost to the consumer. Unfortunately, a lot of people with acne, they're teenagers, they're young, they're on a budget.
You're right. And they can't really afford. So we teach them how to start out at the minimum that they require.
Yeah.
And what is the one, see if you know this, what is the one product in the acne home prescriptive thing that is the secret weapon?
The secret weapon, the one. Is it your first product?
Actually, it's Acumist.
Okay. I was going to say Accutherm, but yes.
Well, that's all part of the program. Yeah. But Acumist, if they can do it a few times a day, keep a little bottle of your purse.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Absolutely.
There are secret reasons why.
Yeah. I'm using it as a deodorant right now and I'm obsessed. Oh, yeah. Accumist is the best.
Better than that one on TV with that lady gynecologist that says you can put it in your boobs, your butt, and all that other stuff.
I haven't tried that one, but even my sister, I got my sister on it.
Fortune.
I'm telling you, Accumist is a deodorant, especially when it's really hot right now. You guys try it. It is a game changer.
That sounds reasonable, Sarah, because sweat, perspiration, endocrine fluids and that don't really smell horrible unless there's bacteria.
Yeah.
So that would kill
the bacteria. Yeah.
So
I've been trying natural deodorants and clean. Oh my gosh, try it. I'm telling you, it's the best. I think the thing I liked most about this class was I tied in about 5 to 6 before and after photos of actual clinics in the DMK network. And I just went through our whole, file of before and afters, and I picked my favorite ones. And then I reached out to the clinics and I said, what did you do? How many treatments were done? And I was just amazed and actually very proud because it just really proves that what we're doing is working. One of them literally followed an acne boot camp, like to a T. She was alternating nutrition treatments. Others were revising acne in 3 treatments. Like, it just was so gratifying and just like a testimony to DMK.
There's a reason, we'll quickly say, there's a reason behind this, very simple reason. You probably used it in your classes. I've used it for years. Is you think of acne as starting out with the hypothalamus gland. Okay, think of that as a radio antenna on top of your head. Well, we used to think the pituitary was the master gland, but no, it's the hypothalamus gland. And any kind of stress that you encounter, whether it be subliminal, which is the worst, stress that you can't control, or adolescent to, all of those, it sends a signal of stress down to the pituitary gland, who in turn picks up the phone and calls the adrenal glands, and they get all excited like they're supposed to. And they contact the testosterone in the person's body, whether it be male or female. And then that's exacerbated, and the testosterone calls the sebaceous oil gland in the skin, pump more oil. Now, at that point, you would have excess oily skin. That's it. But there's other factors that come in, such as cuticle buildup, redundant cell buildup, etc., that block that like water behind a dam. It then starts a reservoir under the epidermis, and the protective mechanisms of the skin say, oh no, that's not supposed to be there. So little cells then encapsulate that, and now you've got this little cyst-like bump that all estheticians hate. It's the kind that you stick a lancet in and nothing comes out but blood.
It's the worst thing to do.
And then of course that's a potential cuneiform scar. So there's so much more to acne than slapping on benzoyl peroxide or tea tree oil or whatever else. That people do.
That can sometimes make it worse. And then not to mention all the microbiome disruptors that we have.
That is the key thing.
pH, I mean, anything basically that you put on your skin.
Using a bar, I remember back in the day when I was in private school, I had with my acne, and I was crying in the dispensary, and the nurse says, oh, I'll tell you how to get rid of that. Take ivory soap, 99% pure, and work it into the skin real good, and keep washing and drying out. Idiot.
Yeah.
Because what's happening, soaps are made with alkaline salts. They're made from oils, but they don't harden until you put alkaline salts in, and then they harden and you have your soap.
Yeah.
Like the pioneers did with ashes from the fireplace and pig fat. But anyway, when you rub that bar of soap into your skin, it turns your sebaceous oil into soap too, or pre-deposited fat plugs.
Yeah.
And those become exacerbated, infected, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So these are all misinformation, old wives' tales. They weren't evil people or anything. They just didn't know. And it always fascinated me from the time I got rid of my own all the way up until present day.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in the store, and I'm sure you do this too, and we see people with really bad acne.
Oh, all the same.
And I want to go up and say something. In fact, I have. And gave them a card. So anyway.
Again, too, it's helping our clinics and accounts become really strong in the consultation and the DMK concept. This is what the Acne Masterclass is. We can create a masterclass for pigmentation, which I think we might be doing. Who knows?
Well, we have.
What other? I mean, any kind of age management. It's helping you guys know how to create a path. With DMK, there's many ways to get from point A to point B, which the end result is beautiful, healthy skin. We're just helping you guys decide and get you started on a path that I know that works. And I encourage you to try these boot camps, these programs, whatever you want to call them, series of treatments. I encourage you to do them and also become the expert and realize, like, maybe if something is not going the way you want it to, you might have to switch gears. Like, you really got to look at the skin, see how it's clearing up, look at the person, the lifestyle, if they really are using their products at home, if they're being consistent. There's so many different factors that come into play.
And I know you've experienced this 1,000 times. Oddly enough, when a client that's never had any kind of treatment before, or DMK treatment, comes in and you do your first treatment on them, there's always a change. There's always a little result. And that's all they need. They don't expect it to clear up. Hell, they've tried all kinds of things. They've tried everything, including dermatologists, and drugs, and the whole 9 yards. So when they see and feel a subtle change, they know. Now, what happens at that point scientifically is the stress on the hypothalamus gland is subdued. They're more relaxed. They're more hopeful. Less stress. And now you have an internal help towards the, dare I say the word, cure or controlled remission.
It's absolutely a mental thing.
And when you get rid of something, in my opinion, because we are a mobile organic machine, it's cured. Because when we're 6 feet under, then you can't cure anything. But when you have a control, and that's what we love to give these kids, especially, is the control factor at home. So when they get a big honker and they have a date for Friday night, oh my God, I can't have this. They can put a little AccuTherm on, and within 24 hours, usually gone away.
And it's about teaching and guiding and being there for them to support them through the program, because their skin will change. It might get worse before it gets better. You might have to have a little up and down, but that's how skin works. That's how acne works. It just is what it is. And as long as you have that trained, educated therapist that's guiding and going through the process and really taking that commitment with them, it's a journey, right? And it takes time. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer for certain people, and other people clear up really quickly. I always start my trainings and I say, I am 100% confident that I can treat the worst of whatever, any condition, anywhere on the body, because I'm confident enough. And so I want to train, I want to teach that. I want to share that with you all, that you can do this. And DMK works with the body's own chemistry, and really clearing long term.
I've seen some cases, especially in Norway years ago. There was a man that worked in the oil industry. He was not a nice man. He had his wife with him in the treatment room, and you could tell it was spousal abusement. Shut up, sit there, don't say anything. And then, oh, hi, to the therapist, Mr. Jolly, big, huge Bluto guy. He was thick with comedones, melia, and pustules. And I mean comedone on comedone, even in his ears. It was the most horrible looking thing I've ever seen in my whole life. My fingers itched, because I knew we could get rid of it. His head probably went down 3 sizes.
All the bacteria. He needed some epitoxyl.
Oh my God. Well, we had it then. We had epitoxyl. It was called dermatoxyl. Back in those days. We didn't have the microbiome thing.
No.
So I wish we did. It would have sped up everything. But he got rid of it. And guess what? The fool went back to the oil fields, didn't do his own prescriptives, came down with it again, came in, okay, I'm ready for a second one. He didn't care, because he thought in his mind, well, when it gets that bad, when children start vomiting in the streets when I walk by, I'll go back to DMK and get cured again.
Well, that's the best part about DMK is you can treat an acne young teenage skin, but then we also have everything else that you need to treat a 20-year-old, a 30-year-old, a 40, 50, 60-year-old.
For onset,
we have everything long term.
Sara, one of the things that I've noticed a lot of other companies don't address is the acne scarring, the cuneiform scarring. And that's one of the big things that we address, because now we try to get them cleared up if they're teenagers before this happens. But sometimes people live with them for years, particularly the ice pick scars and the deep cuneiforms. And we do take care of that. It takes a long time, but we have been very successful. So what's your take?
I mean, we have alkaline wash is, my most favorite thing to teach and work with. It's an absolute phenomenal tool. You can treat all sorts of scarring, cuneiform scarring. Obviously, yes, we want to treat the acne before that inflammation kicks in, and the scars start to present. But sometimes that's not possible. And the programs that we've put together, we have 4 different programs. So we have one for inflamed acne, non-inflamed acne, we have adult onset acne, and then scarring. So not only cuneiform scarring, uneven texture, but also PIH and PIE, so post-inflammatory erythema, red, purple scars left over.
Cuperos, as they say in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, we've got it all. The programs are very effective. They're going to include alkaline wash. If you are trained on that, fabulous. If you're not yet, I encourage you to get with your account managers, get into your MD training, because that is really how you're going to treat.
No therapists.
Scarring.
Now, we have some therapists out there that have not yet gone into their DMK, MD training and things like that.
Sure.
I suggest you do it ASAP simply because you won't be able to use these tools to get these marvelous results.
Yep.
And I can tell you personally, I don't know how passionate any of you are out there watching this, hopefully a lot, but when I really get into someone's skin, back in the days when I was actually working on people, and they noticed it, and they would say to me afterwards, "You were really into my skin today, weren't you?" And I just felt this all over uplifting feeling. And then when the results started coming in, I personally was as happy as if I'd gotten rid of my own.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what it takes. It takes this joie de vivre after treatments and during treatments that gives you that tight bond with your client, with your patient, whatever.
Yep.
And their whole lives are changed.
Yeah,
completely.
absolutely. I mean, honestly, that's why my position's switched a little bit. I'm not doing sales anymore, and I just am like getting back into.
Well, you were always a natural teacher. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, I love to teach, but like
I mean, you are a good therapist.
and help skin. It's just it's rewarding, right? Just like what you said, it feels really good to help.
And the scar thing is not what anybody thinks. Even stretch marks or strea are scars from inside out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Scars are usually approached by a lot of medical practices and that as let's peel, or let's what's that horrible thing with the needle? Let's microneedle, soften it up. Yeah. No, that's not how it works. You're just creating more defense system in the skin and making it worse. Come on. No, it's a question of remove slowly, rebuild.
Yep.
Remove, rebuild. Because the cuneiforms, if those of you that don't know what that means, are like this in the epidermis. Here's the epidermis, here's the scar. It's an ice pick scar. Yep. You have to build up the tissue from that point to level it out on the surface. Yep. You can't just keep peeling and peeling.
You have to reconnect the collagen and the elastin and the fibers and make the skin strong. So that's probably the most unique thing about DMK is that we're just improving the integrity of the skin. We're not just peeling. We're not just exfoliating. We're not doing a quick fix. It's long-term results, which some people are challenged with because it's not quick overnight. But if you stick to it and you're committed, it absolutely will change and fix the worst of skin conditions. One thing too I wanted to touch on quickly is, I was asked to put together suggested home prescriptives for each condition, and I just couldn't do it. I didn't want to. Everyone is so different, and everyone's on a different budget. That's
another reason we can't sell online.
Yeah, exactly. So I really left it up to the therapist. You guys are trained and you've gone to program 1, hopefully MD. You have your account managers to lean on. I do suggest in the beginning with acne is to keep it simple. Don't bombard them with 10 different products.
No, because they won't do it.
Yeah, they won't do it. And then their skin freaks out a little bit. And then they go, it's the product. It's breaking me up.
Purge. Many times there's what we call the purge situation where they act, and I tell them this.
Yep.
Well, we used to work on it.
Yeah.
I would say now there are hidden things in your skin that we're going to bring out.
Yes.
So you may have a couple zits or whatever for the next few days. Don't worry about it. Yep. Here's Accutherm that'll help you with it.
Yeah.
But this is part of it. All right, let's answer our questions that have come in.
Sounds good.
Okay. Question number 1, it doesn't say, usually it says who sent it in, but this time, well, okay.
Let's say.
How can I mix the new Acne Masterclass techniques into my current treatment plans without confusing my clients? Did someone really ask that?
I know. I thought that was funny too.
I don't know.
I mean, you're the expert. Your clients are coming and paying you big time money to be the expert that you are, and you're going to be the one that's going to choose and decide what treatments they're going to have done. I don't know why the client would be confused by that, really.
No, what my real answer would be, okay, if you haven't been working with acne consistently, but you've done a few, and you're not focusing on marketing it, that you can do this with expertise, this would be for you. And the clients would not be confused because those that would be attracted have acne. So there's no confusion.
I think the only confusion that might come in is maybe if you were like piecing in other products from other companies and then
don't mix and match.
Don't do that.
It has nothing to do with competitors or anything like that. It is, you cannot mix and match simply because of the chemistry involved with the products.
Yeah, you're working with biocompatible, bioavailable ingredients. They are designed to instigate change on the skin. Very, very important to trust the process and fully commit to DMK when you're doing these types of treatments.
All right, this one is a good question. My DMK, this might have come from Jenna of Northern Ireland, the acne queen of Ireland.
Yes.
My DMK clinic's top specialty is acne. Do I really need to take the master class after years of experience and good result with DMK? Well, I would say yes, because I am still learning.
Correct.
I am still, even at 81, am learning as I go. From a much younger man called Dr. LaConde and others, and there are new aspects to acne that you didn't know about a long time ago. Yes, you've gotten good results, you're well known, and that's, but what you'll find out with this is the new way to market, number one, and attract more people, and how to get results in a faster period of time with some of the new approaches and things we have.
Yeah, you always have to remain open. Things change. We have new ideas. We have new tools available.
And it doesn't hurt to refresh.
No, not at all.
I used
to remember everything.
Years ago when I used to go up to Pittsburgh all the time, that was our first distributor.
Yeah, love Karen.
Ed and Karen Crawl up in Pittsburgh. And I would worry because they'd go out and canvass the areas and bring in new people all the time to hear me. And of course, their old therapists would come too. And I would always say, okay, those of you who've heard this before, go to sleep. I'll talk to only you new people. Nobody went to sleep. And later I would apologize. Oh, no. Each time you talk, you give a little different slant on it. We learn something.
Yeah.
So yes.
You never stop learning. I always say yes.
I don't care if you're making $1 million a year.
Why not?
Acne, still take the class. There's something that it will be new to you. All right. Any tips? Oh, this therapist wants to know, any tips on how to keep the client's expectation realistic during acne? What would you say to that?
Communication, proper consultation, telling them what to expect, checking in on them, text them a couple weeks after their appointment or a week after. Let them know that you're here. You're going to guide them. If things get a little worse, you have a breakout pop up, we will help you. I don't want you picking your skin at home. I'm the therapist. That's why you're coming to see me. And so I'm here to help you throughout the entire process.
I'm always surprised how many people don't do a next day follow-up.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I had my clinic on Oak Street in Chicago,
You have to.
I had my receptionist, who was a transgender woman. That was back before that was even popular. Bobby May.
No.
She was a hoot. But anyway, she would pre-sign with my signature all of these thank you cards stacked up.
Love that.
And the day the client would come in, she would have their address and a stamp on it, go right in the mail. Next day, the client would get it. Thank you for coming in. And then she would call them and say, how are you doing? This constant communication will keep their expectations realistic. Because trust me, people that have had, especially adults, have acne for a long time or scars for a long time. They've kind of tried everything.
Yeah.
And they're not expecting overnight results. Not really. If they are, then.
And that's when, again, it's that one-to-one connection, relationship with the clients. That's what DMK is all about. That's what we're here for. And it's a lost art. It really is, with this new world of influencers and just buying product on TikTok and Instagram. DMK is a little old school in that way, but I love it. I'm here for it. That's, again, it's our niche in the industry. And we want you guys to have those relationships with your clients.
Question number 4. Some of my clients are a bit skeptical about the home prescriptives. Any tips on how to explain their importance and the added cost effectively? I'll just quickly say this, that you can jump in. I had this problem with Russia, DMK Russia. And most of the practitioners with DMK there are dermatologists, doctors. And they were so scared to add costs onto the treatment. People would come in for the treatment.
Yeah.
But unless they did it right, they say, no, I don't spend more money. I buy from a store for a home. No. Number 1, I would tell these men and women, you're a doctor. When somebody comes in with a sore throat or some other, anomaly besides skin, you write prescriptions. Okay. Where does that prescription go? Goes to apotek. That means drugstore in Russia. Okay, they go to the apotek with that piece of paper. How much money do you make? Oh, nothing. Exactly. Why not own your own apotek? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You have your own home prescriptives there, which are an integral part of the ongoing results of the treatment. It's impossible to do it any other way. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah. I mean, I'll touch on this quickly. I mean, this is something that you taught me many years ago, is the power of no, and being confident enough to say, no, I'm not going to do this treatment on you unless you're going to commit to at least a couple, maybe 1 or 2. We'll get you started slowly. We'll, respect the budget that you might be on. But 60% of your results are home care. So it just is, they work together.
If they can afford to come in to have treatments, they can afford the home prescription.
They're going to find a way. When there's a will, there's a way. And when your skin's awful, you will.
I have I won't go into them now because of a lack of time, but I have other heartrending stories of my days in Chicago when poor Black people from the South Side, hearing about that I worked with Black skin a lot, would come in.
Yeah.
And they would ask me for a diagnosis. We'd do it, work up their chart. And then they would say, how much will all this cost exactly, including your home prescriptives you're talking about? And I would tell them, they'd say, I will be back. Now, my receptionist at the time, who was a Black woman, kind of upper scale type, she would sneer and say, they're not going to be back. They don't got no money. They did come back, and they always had their little dollar bills folded up and everything. They saved and saved and saved. And a lot of time there were life-changing circumstances following these treatments. All right.
But it's also too, you guys you gotta dress the part. You gotta put your lab coat on. You gotta look professional.
Yes.
That is also a huge component of being professional and respected.
My Ukraine people, they don't do Botox or anything without the complete surgical hat, gloves, mask, just to do Botox. I mean, no, I am 100% on top of that. You have to intimidate. If you don't intimidate a new client when they come in from the first time, you cannot control them, and they will just think they can do anything they want. You have to scare them a little bit.
And for those of you that struggle with this and retailing or prescribing the home prescriptives, this is why we designed this. Everything is laid out. The programs are there. The home prescriptives suggested use are there as well. So it's foolproof. Just stick to the concept, follow the programs, and make sure your clients are using only DMK. Then we can support you and really guarantee what's going to happen with the skin.
Okay, last question. What's the difference between a webinar, a webinar, and these master classes?
I don't understand that question.
I don't either.
The webinar.
Because we're always doing webinars.
Oh, well, okay. So the webinar was just a live one-time, promo that we had, and then we included the actual powder brushes with it. This class is also available. Your account managers can go out into the field. They can do a one-day class with you in clinic. They can do a one-off really whenever they want. It's a fun, easy 2 to 2.5 hour course. Your account manager can teach it to you individually or your team as a whole, whatever your clinic looks like. But the webinar was just something, fun to do live. You guys can jump on and ask questions. And I think we had, 188 people signed up. We had 178 on live, which is huge for us. Yeah. So again, you guys, we're trying something new and fresh, and
Well,
I hope you guys liked it.
because, okay, and the main difference between this is packaged with a focus.
Yeah.
One focus with a 6 to 8 week program.
Yeah.
Now, I imagine the 6 to 8 week would connotate milder and heavier duty acne. That is the big difference, is we're focusing.
Yep.
And I'm finding that we have to do more and more of this, to focus on specific. We'll probably end up, when Chromozyme is finally launched, we'll probably end up with hyperpigmentation focus, type of thing.
Yeah. And this is how we used to do it, though.
Yes. And when people out there around your clinics hear about these things and they have these problems, they will come in because they assume, and correctly, that you're focusing on them, not just general skin revision.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited about this.
Me too.
People, we sell education. That's what we really sell. And I know that sounds weird and strange, but it's true. I always say products are just tools. Now, yes, we have, I think, the best tools. I certainly have spent a lot of time on them over the years. But tools are tools. It's what you see in the concept that actually does the work and gets to the results. And following that is the fact that I've always said in every country in the world, knowledge really is power. So our education is prima facie. After that, tools, treatment, results. Thank you for tuning in, and see you next time on another thrilling edition of Ask Me Anything.
Thank you.